We are working to save you money as you plan your back-to-school financials. And right about now is when many parents are getting those tuition payment reminders, and those can be daunting. So joining us today is Mike Martinez. He's the founder and president of the pension group based out of Dublin. Glad to have you with us, Mike.
Thanks for having me.
This is so timely because parents are getting those emails saying your tuition's due, your tuition's due. So if you're a parent or grandparent, maybe you're paying it yourself. Like, what's the first step in just tackling this bill?
Well, I think the biggest thing I did with all my children is they had some skin in the game. It wasn't mom and dad paying for everything, regardless if you're married, divorced. Your kids need to understand this isn't a free ride. So one of the greatest tips I had from one of my CPAs many, many years ago is maybe the first year you pay 75, maybe 50, maybe 25, and then the final year your kids are responsible for the full bill. Your kids need to be responsible for things as they're becoming young adults. I would say, they need to set aside a lot of, you need to look at a lot of different things overall.
So how do I decide which accounts then do I use first or have the kid use first?
Well, you can certainly start, setting up 529 plans. I think that's the first way to use it because we know the income's tax-free. But I think the number one rule I don't want people to break is I don't want you to sacrifice your own retirement. I think a lot of people will tap into, maybe take a loan from their 401k, or maybe they get into a situation where they're drawing down other funds, IRAs, whatnot, to pay for their children's college education, and that can be very, very difficult.
So there's a delicate balance, you're saying?
There is, yeah. And again, I don't want people to jeopardize their retirement.
Sure.
As I always say, your kids now have, I just turned 50 this year, even though I helped my kids, when they went to college, but I did it at the end type of thing. I wanted them to finish college. But, as we get older and older, we don't have maybe 20, 30 more years of working career. They do.
Right.
So, there has to be some amount of either student loans or something of that nature that children need to be held accountable for, that it's not always put on mom and dad.
Like you said, they have to have a little bit of skin in the game, right?
Correct.
Preach it. All right. So you advise your clients to avoid hidden tax surprises. What are those? Well,
certainly 529, any money that's used from a 529 plan is going to be tax-free. I think that is extremely important. But, if you start pulling money out of IRAs, 401ks, if you don't have loan provisions and you're pulling out hardship withdrawals, that could become a taxable event to you. And those are some of the gotcha moments where you may be trying to help out your son or daughter go to school, but then what ends up happening is you end up paying more in taxes because of federal as well as state taxes. And if you're under 59.5, then you got a 10% penalty on top of that. So you need to be very, very careful.
And those percentages add up, for sure.
Correct. Yes.
Okay, so finally, what's the best way to preserve it so I can retire on time?
Get your kids a scholarship.
Yeah, exactly. Get straight A's.
Get straight A's.
Yeah.
And sometimes that's really not enough. But it is a balancing act. I tell people. But having a plan, starting much younger when you have kids. A lot of parents typically delay this until maybe they're teenagers. Oh, we really have put this off, and we've been building our careers, and we really haven't thought about what can we do. But even if you're putting $50, $100, $200 extra a month aside for college into a 529 plan, or maybe a non-qualified account where you're not penalized for pulling money out, that could certainly be used. But by all means, don't jeopardize your own retirement to help your kids go to college.
I hear you loud and clear, Mike.
Yeah,
Thank you so much. We appreciate it. Mike Martinez joining us from the pension group. Great advice. Thank you.
Thank you.